What's good, beautiful people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is OSM. My name, of course, is Emmanuel Kwame Sapon, but you know where to find me at Olale Sapon. I know it's been a minute since I popped up here on YouTube. I've been trying to get myself aligned to be posting consistently, but I hope I'm able to stick to the schedule because hey, it's not easy out here. But hey, I'm bringing you fantastic news from the UK, where our very own Black Sherif Iron Boy, Kweku the Traveler, seem to have continued his tour in the United Kingdom. Now, for those of you who have been following, you know Black Sherif was supposed to have continued his world tour or global tour after the North American tour, but for some reason he seemed to have put the UK tour on pause. But of course, he's been able to pull off the show, and my oh my, what an amazing spectacle it was. I mean, if you've seen the videos from fan cams and of course the show reel that he himself posted on his various social media platforms, it tells you that people did really have a ball at the O2 Shepherd Bush Empire. And I saw the videos, I saw some of the fan cams, I heard the audience shouting, adding to the emotional razzmatazz that came as a result of singing along word for word, lyric by lyric, to some of their records. Personally, I have said that if you were a true Blacko fan, you know that the true record or the top record of the Iron Boy album is Top of the Morning. And I'm not surprised that anytime I see, videos from his performances, that singing is goosebumpy. That's even if it's a word. You have all sort of goosebumps because you hear the audience and the crowd singing word for word. And sometimes Blacko doesn't even need to sing. I believe every artist in the world right now is seeking for such validation for their work. Having to climb on stage and have people sing and cry out your lyrics and cry out your songs. There is no fanfooling in that stage. To be very honest, there's no fanfooling in that stage. Like, it's just too overwhelming. There's a video of him singing one and he got really teary. It is the illustration of how personal that record is to him if you look at the story or the backstory regarding that record. But this is what I've been able to deduce from what I've seen so far from the various videos that have come from London. And this is coming on the back of some performances he's had right here in Ghana. The just ended Pepsodent event, where we saw similar videos of the crowd really vibing to his records and singing along with him. There is something unique about what we are witnessing. I think he also answers a question that many of you may be asking or have asked. And that question is why he seldom features people on his album. In fact, why he seldom features people on his own records. But I think what we are witnessing answers the question or answers the questions. And this is what I think. All right. And it's open for discussion. I think Blacko wants to build a catalog or a portfolio where his fans and his followers will be for him and him alone. He doesn't want any other person to be the reason why you air for this music, or it could be something else. But I strongly believe from what we are seeing from these videos, of course, if you're looking at this and you're watching this, you should be dusting off your fits and your boots and your sneakers and get ready to book a ticket for Zama Disco, because clearly looks like we are in for a ride. But yeah, I think Blacko seems to be sending a message that, look, when I put out a body of work, I want you to get to know me and get to know me better. I don't want you to be distracted. This is why Blacko rides solo. He doesn't want any other person to leave traces or leave trails behind him. He just wants you to see him. He wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to be at the center of the conversation. He wants to be the reason why you are listening to his music. Beyond the stage, you look at his fashion sense. Beyond the fashion sense, you look at the conversations he stirs up with the songs and the lyrics he drops. Anytime he drops a record, there is some level of conversation that is started. Beyond that, you can also look at the creative direction of his music videos. He leaves you wondering what's happening. He leaves you wondering, he leaves you asking questions. Okay? We've seen that a number of times to come to this conclusion to indeed respect, accept, and appreciate the fact that It is his artistry. You know, there are some artists where people always argue that they can't do it by themselves. Or there are some artists that believe that, they need to be carried by others before the light in them shine. I don't think that's a story for Blacko. And he's proven that with 2 albums. I'm not sure what his next project will look like or be like, but with an album that seemed to have come in to compete with a previous album, which was arguably one of the best albums in the last 5 or 10 years, it was really a stare down and a dare to his artistry. And from what we are seeing so far, the album is barely 6 months in. But what we are seeing so far, we just may have top 2 albums or top 2 best albums from an artist in a space of 2 years of all time. I mean, shout outs to Kweku Smoke for doing that for hip hop and rap. But when it comes to even for Blacko, sometimes I'm not even too sure where to put him. I like to identify him as a high life hip hop artist. I feel like he's been able to really evolve and flip the sound into something that is very black organic. Okay, black organic. And so I think he's on a journey. He's on his own. And you can tell. You can really tell that he's really set himself apart. He's not following anybody. You can't even tell what type of inspiration this guy is on. You hear some type of music, and you hear some type of flow, and you are able to draw a few lines here and there. But Blacko seems to have, I'm not saying he does not have inspirations. He has said it in multiple interviews, but you can clearly tell that with all of the inspiration he's put together, he's been able to define a sound uniquely to him and for his audience. Big shout outs going out to Ghanaians who showed up. To show up for the same concert twice tells you that there is more than enough value you are paying for to really experience. He has another show in Birmingham, I believe, and I believe that is also going to be a success. Calls have come in to say Blacko should look at having his first stadium concert. I'm not too sure if it's enough. I think it begs the question if Blacko has a dedicated community or dedicated following like that of the Sack, Shatawale, and the Stoneboy. I always say that we should give a lot of credits to the 3S's because the ability to move from just being an artist and being a leader of communities, a leader of a wolf pack, a following, it's not easy. Like the way in Nigeria you have the Wizkid FC and you have the OBO, the 30 billion gang, and I think Burna Boy also seems to have found a community as such. These people don't care whether you drop records or not. These people are ready to ride for you. Okay, I think Blacko may have a similar one like that, but it's not pretty visible. It's not known. Maybe it's because they are not always in the news for the bad reasons. They are not in the news for controversial reasons. All they want to do is just enjoy Blacko, support him, and then see him chalk many successes. So that could explain it. But I think we may need just one more project to round the numbers up and head to the stadium. That is what I genuinely think. I think it would be a bit premature and suicidal to attempt to head to the stadium when we are just taking off. I don't think Blacko has reached the climax yet. I think he's still just taking off. I think he's just getting started. He's really just getting started because we've not seen this type of explosive talent in a while. And the fact that he's been able to control and manage his own expectations, under no pressure whatsoever, that is what makes him great. As young as he is, he's able to keep his head under the water and just focus on releasing beautiful records. And I really, really am glad for him on that. So shout outs to the fans who went out to see him. Hopefully we are able to, and I'm not too sure the type of nationalities that showed up at the O2 Shepherd Bush Empire. I'm not too sure. And I wish sometimes you can get some of this data to really tell if the music is not just appealing to Ghanaians, but it's appealing to a broader audience of different nationalities. Then we are able to make informed analysis and informed projections. I've seen calls for the O2 Arena and stuff like that. The O2 Arena is 20,000. Ghanaians are not known for buying tickets and going for events. But if Blacko is able to get Ghanaians to come to the same show at the same venue twice, then maybe just maybe, Blacko may lead the charge of getting Ghanaian supporters to pay for the event. If you listen to some of the things they were saying, some of the remarks and some of the reviews.
Try it all down, man. Performance, good stagecraft, we love you. Miss Initial from Blackwell is the best. Live, we outside, O2.
Overall experience, okay? And it's very nice to hear that about a young talent who is barely 5 years in the game. Barely 5 years in the game. Very refreshing to hear that. So maybe, just maybe, with the successes he's chalked in North America and now inside the United Kingdom, we just may be having a refreshing wind of Ghanaian fans paying to go see Ghanaian stars. Once again, another win in hindsight. All right. So big ups to the organizers, big ups to Blacko's team, big ups to the Ghanaian fans, and of course the other nationalities who did well to go see him. I saw a video of him and Black Bones performing Roadrunners, amazing record. And yeah, I hope it continues. I really hope it continues. But let me know what you guys think of what I just talked about. What do you make of what I just said? Do you think it's something that is worth considering? Do you think this is the reason why Blacko does not want to have other people on his projects? Do you think he's being selfish for a good reason? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to find me at Olele Sabot on all social media platforms. And this is OSN. Bye-bye.